So for the past few months, I've been in a bit of a rut, creatively and mentally. I was continually planning things but not completing them, and it felt like I was making no progress. Now, a month later, I have learnt so much about habits, giving yourself time out, and how to actively improve your mental health in a way that suits your lifestyle. I've gathered together all of the things that helped me to improve my mental well-being during this time, in the hopes that they'll be able to help you too. Something that I've learned in the past few months is to prioritise setting systems of habits instead of goals. A quote that really helps me realise this is, "You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." You might have a goal in mind, but if you're not working towards it, the likelihood of you achieving that goal is decreasing as the days go by. For example, if your goal is to be fluent in Spanish, but you're not taking the time out of your day to actually learn the vocabulary, then it's less likely that you're going to achieve that goal. So, why should you set yourself habits? Habits usually mean you start something, and when you start something, it's much easier to continue. Recently, I set myself a goal of running because my ultimate goal is to be able to run a half marathon. At the beginning, it felt impossible to imagine running a half marathon. However, now a few runs in, I'm really noticing progression and enjoying the process of it. When you set yourself a system of habits, you enjoy the journey of getting closer to your goal, whereas when you set a goal, you're focused on the end result rather than the process of getting there. It's all about the climb, ladies and gentlemen. So, how to get started with a habit? Write down a list of your goals for a few months' time. Do you want to learn a new language? Maybe learn graphic design, illustration? Your goal for 3 months' time may be to fluently edit a 10 to 20 minute video for a client. Break down this overall goal of yours into smaller sub-goals, such as editing a 5-minute video, starting to work with clients on smaller videos, or watching various online tutorials. Once you have a list of things you need to complete in order to achieve that goal, separate these goals into weekly sections. This is what you're working towards during each week to progressively get closer to your end goal. Personally, I prefer to leave it here as it gives me a little bit more freedom during my week. However, if you are someone who prefers more of a strict timetable, you could try something like time blocking. This just means that you'd have a schedule to your habit, so say every day at 8 a.m. you want to read 20 pages of a book. If that's something that you want to schedule into your day, then by all means go ahead. Personally, I just list my tasks so that I can do them as and when so they fit into my day. The following are some habits that I have implemented into my life recently that have really helped my overall well-being, mentally, physically, just generally got me out of a rut. Journaling. I started writing on my notes app on my phone, which worked pretty well to begin with. However, I really like to keep different parts of my life separate. When I'm on my phone, it's easy for me to get distracted with social media or emails, and I wanted to remain focused and present while journaling, so instead I chose a notebook. Journaling is proven to reduce anxiety and stress, as well as improve sleep. The habit I set for myself is when I feel stressed or anxious, or just generally have a worry on my mind, I write it down. I get it out on paper or in a notebook so that I can stop thinking about that thing and start focusing on what I want moving forward. If you're creative, you might want to feel that everything you do is helping you to progress. One way that I have found to help my creativity and my mental health simultaneously is songwriting. Organizing your thoughts into lyrics and focusing on melodies takes your mind away from negative thoughts and helps you feel like you've achieved something afterwards. For me, over the past few years, this is something that has really helped me turn my negative thoughts into something productive and beneficial. Exercise. As I mentioned earlier, running is a habit that I've incorporated into my life recently. Before, I would exercise once in a while, but it was never a regular thing that I wanted to do. Exercise, even just a 10-minute run or walk, can significantly improve your mental well-being and spark creativity. Some benefits of running in particular are stress management, greater creativity, brain power boost, and increased productivity, among many other physical benefits. Clear your space. Having a clear mind and a clear space allows you to think and act with purpose. Doing small tasks like making your bed or tidying unnecessary clutter can really improve your motivation and productivity levels and decrease procrastination. Simply, the more clutter you see, the harder it will be for you to focus on one thing. A way that I have achieved this habit is to set a 10-20 minute timer to clear my space. I will listen to a podcast or some music while doing this, but ultimately this time limit motivates you to focus on this singular task that will have an impact on the rest of your day. Plan. Now, I don't time block too often as it doesn't work too well for me personally, but something I do is before bed each night I will write down the tasks that I have to complete the next day. If I've written these down, they're off my conscience and I can fully rest my mind and get a good night's sleep. Start a hobby. Whether this is music, reading, writing, sketching, or photography, having a hobby that acts as a timeout for you is really, really important. It is also something that I've noticed has really helped my own mental health. Speaking of having a hobby, I want to take a moment to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online community for creatives who are looking to expand their knowledge or learn new skills. They have such a wide variety of classes, from illustration to graphic design, photography, filmmaking. Honestly, they have classes on pretty much anything. I'm going to talk through two of my favorite classes that I have taken recently on Skillshare. The first one is the Creative Breakthrough class by Danielle Kreiser. Secondly, I took the DIY cinematography class with Ryan Booth. Both of these classes are so well structured. I really enjoyed them, and to hear from people who are in the industry and know what they're talking about is so great, especially for creative subjects. Something else I love about Skillshare is the timescales of the classes. I'm the kind of person who has about 40 things going on at once, so it's nice to be able to slot a lesson into my day. If you are interested in trying out Skillshare for yourself, the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box will get 2 months of Skillshare Premium for free. Continuing after that, Skillshare is under $10 per month, which is amazing. You get so much back for your money and I love it. So check it out if you'd like to. I thought in this video I would share a few resources of things that have helped me come out of a creative rut, things that have inspired me over the past couple of months. So this is music, films, books, TV shows, content creators. We've got it all over here. Films/TV shows. My first recommendation is Minimalism, which is a documentary by Matt D'Avella, who is a content creator here on YouTube as well as a filmmaker. This documentary is about all the important things in life and is so inspirational. Matt has such an amazing creative vision and I'd highly recommend checking it out. Secondly, we have Disney Insider. This has been something that has really inspired me over the past month or so. I've watched so many of them, but it features the behind the scenes of filming and producing TV shows, films at Disney, and as someone who's interested in film and TV production, it is perfect. I absolutely love it. It inspires me to continue to create. It's great. Would highly recommend. I've watched probably one too many episodes of it, but it's fine. Books. Lots of books. I have kind of got into reading recently, which is really nice because I don't like reading usually, but these are a few books that have really inspired me. First up, we have Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. This book is so amazing, so empowering, well written, inspirational. It's a great book. The illustrations throughout the book are great and I would highly recommend it. I learnt so much through that book. Do go read it. Next up, we have You're a Badass by Jen Sincero, one of my favorite self-help books. Jen is really witty and so inspiring. I absolutely love her writing style. The book itself really challenges your perspectives and I absolutely love books that do that. Next up, we have Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. Again, one of my favorite self-help books. It's all about manifestation and just how to really bring good opportunities into your life. I thought it was a really inspiring read and I think he just has a really unique writing style. Moving on to musicians/podcasts. I'm going to run through these pretty quickly, but I will link everything in the description box if you want to go and check them out. So for musicians, we have Tobi Lou, Oh Wonder, Maisie Peters, Ryan Beatty and Phoebe Green. As most of you know, I'm a regular podcast listener, so I had to include podcasts in this list because I get inspired by podcasts so often. So these are 4 podcasts that I have specifically been loving recently. So we have We Bought a House, Pretty Basic, the Receipts podcast and the Rise and Conquer podcast. All 4 of them are amazing. would highly recommend listening to them. Content creators. So these are 2 content creators that specifically over the past month I've been really inspired by. So first up we have Casey Neistat. Obviously, we love Casey in this household. His videos are so inspiring and I just really enjoy his content. I've been watching loads of his old vlogs from like years ago. I honestly feel so much more creative after watching them, so thanks Casey. Great time. Secondly, we have Michelle B. I absolutely love her videos. She kind of does self-help productivity videos. I absolutely love them and I've learned so much through her videos in the past few months. So I would highly recommend go checking her out if you need to come out of a rut, because her content is top tier. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it and that you've learned something from it. If you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. See you next time.